Storytime, my boyfriend was a pathological liar. So a little background information, I was 17 when I started dating this guy who we're gonna call Jack, and he was 17 about to turn 18. Or so I thought, because 3 months into our relationship, my mom somehow randomly found photos from his graduation in 2021. I was really hurt that he lied to me, and I planned on confronting him. Fast forward, I confront him, he lies about it of course. And my mom was like my best friend, so anytime that she noticed anything weird, she would tell me about it, obviously. Like, my mom started realizing that he would try to make his life match mine as much as possible. For example, I had just moved to the suburbs, but I was originally from the city, and apparently so was he. I have 8 siblings, and apparently he does also, but I only met 3 of them. Fast forward, of course this leads me to develop serious trust issues, like for part 2. Part 2, my boyfriend was a pathological liar. So like I said, my mom started realizing that he would try to make his life as close to mine as possible, which led me to develop serious trust issues. Like, I would hate whenever he would go out with his friends to parties, hang out around girls, because he literally had such an issue with lying. So fast forward, our relationship turns into a long distance relationship, and then he lied about how he's going to some private school, and about how his dad is dying of cancer. And his siblings literally just played along with it. Like, I get, you know, like, ride or die, but at the same time, your sibling is a pathological liar. Go get him some help. Anyway, so while he's at this, quote, private school, he was really away at college. Finally, I confront him one more time, and he admits that he lied. He's actually 19, which I knew was a lie again. He was actually 20 years old. And this went on for a long time. Eventually, I decided to leave him, but now I have super bad trust issues.
Stay with me while I tell you why you shouldn't steal from Walmart, specifically if you work there. So let me take you back to March of 2020. This was when the COVID shutdown actually happened. This was when Walmart decided they weren't going to be 24 hours anymore because COVID made such a mess with everything. People were more concerned about the disease thing than what was going on inside the store, especially with its workers. Now, I knew of some people who were borrowing chicken from the deli and they would just take it to the back in the break room and just eat it and then not pay for it. There was this one guy who they actually caught in the act of it, and they said, if you know anyone else who's doing this, if you rat them out, we will let you keep your job. And so that guy ratted them all out. They all got fired, but then they fired him too anyways, so I did not get caught along with these other people, so I still had my job when COVID hit. I don't even remember when, but sometime after Walmart decided they weren't going to do the 24 hours anymore is when I decided I would start borrowing chicken, because why would I pay $3 for chicken? The borrowing chicken went on for a while. I would literally just go to the deli, grab some chicken, grab some mashed potatoes, and whatever sauce I wanted, and I would just walk to the back to the break room and just eat back there, and then I just wouldn't pay for it. Eventually it went up to taking like clothes, groceries, just anything that I really wanted. No one suspected anything of me because I was friends with everyone. At some point I got my boyfriend to join in on this little borrowing thing I had going on. For a while we were just taking clothes, electronics, we took some furniture because it was so easy back then. Fast forward to June and our consciences finally started catching up to us, and we were like, we should probably stop doing this. Now obviously at this point in my life I was walking in some serious disobedience to God, and one day my mom, who is very deep in her relationship with God, my mom told me, Lindy, you need to stop doing whatever you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but God told me to tell you. And I was like, girl, you're tripping. And I just kept doing what I was doing, not really caring, but I knew what she was talking about because I did know what I was doing. We decided we would stop borrowing from Walmart. But then my boyfriend's sister was going to have some friends over, and so she invited all her friends to come, and we were going to watch movies outside, but we wanted a projector. Me and my boyfriend had decided we were gonna do one last time, and we were done. We were gonna do it on a day that I worked the self-checkout machines, so that way my boyfriend could just come in and get all the stuff, walk through, and no one would notice anything. I had this all planned to where I could do it while the security watcher guy was not in his security room and he was doing other stuff. So we see the security guy leave his office, and I tell my boyfriend, hey, he left his office, no one's watching the cameras, I'm bringing the stuff that you want. So he brings like a projector screen, like a few other items I can't even remember, but it all totaled out to over $200, I think, and I thought we were in the clear. The day after we did this is when something weird kind of happened. My boyfriend dropped his phone and it completely shattered, and the cost of the items was about $200. He said, don't you think it's kind of weird that the total that we were supposed to pay for the projector, I ended up paying for my phone anyway, so I spent the same amount of money? And I was like, oh, that is weird. Anyways. So about a week after this happened and I went to another regular shift that I had is when I got pulled into the office mid-shift by the head security manager, and that is when I knew something was very wrong. When I got into the office, there was the head security manager and then about 2 other managers from like corporate Walmart. As soon as I saw them, I thought back to those people who got caught for stealing deli chicken. They told me the exact same thing happened to them. So I knew in that moment that I was getting fired. At first it was super weird because they just started asking me about school, what I like to do in my free time, and just the most random questions, and eventually my anxiety caught up to me. Side note, at this time I was on some heavy anxiety medication because I just got diagnosed with anxiety, so I was really going through it. So eventually I just got tired of them asking me all these random questions, and I was like, okay, why did you call me back here if you don't mind me asking? As soon as I said that, everything got quiet, and one of the ladies looked at me and she said, how long have you been stealing for? My heart dropped to my butthole. Of course I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I was trying to play it cool until she pulled out video camera footage of me. So they had video camera footage of me taking chicken, flowers. I don't know why I stole flowers. I think they were for Mother's Day, honestly. I think I took like a swimsuit, some clothes, other things, just little things like that. It wasn't the furniture and all the other things, but the worst thing that they got us for was the projector. When I saw that they had caught us for the projector, I was like, how in the world did they catch us if the security guy wasn't even watching the cameras? Little did I know that they had someone watching the cameras the whole time and they were training someone new, and he was the one who was watching. So I had to have a full-blown panic attack and leave the room because I was in such a mess after seeing the footage. They let me calm down for a while, and then they pulled me back into the room, and I was like, okay, are you firing me? Like, what's going on? Do I just leave? And they were like, no, just wait here for a minute. We'll be back. While they're gone, I'm texting my boyfriend like, hey, we're screwed. Like, they caught us for everything. I don't know what's going on. And he was like, oh my God, are you getting fired? Like, are you getting arrested? What's happening? A few minutes go by, and then they finally come back, and they bring a police officer with them. They leave me alone with her, and then she's asking me all kinds of questions. In the midst of all my crying, she had asked me my boyfriend's name, and I don't even know why, but I gave her the full name. I think I was just in so much anxiety that I just answered any questions that they had for me at that point. So they had me turn in my vest. They said, yeah, you're fired. You need to leave. We're not going to ban you from Walmart, but you will never be allowed to work for Walmart or any associated company ever again. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. So the police escorted me out of Walmart, which was super humiliating for all my coworkers to see. Then a few weeks later, I got a letter in the mail telling me this was my court date and these were the charges. I was charged with felony theft and child misdemeanor because my boyfriend was 17 and I was 18 at the time. So I went to court and they fully processed me and read me all my rights and everything. They didn't put me in handcuffs, but they did get all my prints and they did a mugshot of me, which I can't find, but I look horrible in. So I basically got a lawyer who helped me get a diversion, and I had to pay $2,000 for the diversion on top of the lawyer fees, and I had to do a bunch of hours of community service, and my boyfriend only had to do community service since he was still a minor. So all is well, but 0 out of 10, do not recommend.